Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai Vishveshwari Mata Ki Jai Bhole Baba Ki Jai. We'll go on with chapter 9 of book 11 in the Srimad Devi Bhagavatm. Sri Narayana said, the brahmanas that will perform duly the Siravrata to be described in the following are the only ones who will attain very easily the heightened knowledge destroying all avidya or ignorance. So much so that the rules of right living and right conduct is ordained in the Shrutis, and the Smritis are not necessary to be observed by those who duly and devoutly perform the Siravrata, a vow of the head to apply ashes on the forehead. One, it is through the Siravrata that Brahma and the other devas have been able to get their Brahmahood and the Devahood. The ancient sages glorified highly this Sriavratas. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and the other devas all performed this. O wise one, those that performed duly this Sriavrata all became sinless, though they were sinful in every way. Its name is Siravrata, inasmuch as it is mentioned in the first part of the Atharva Vedas. No other thing is denominated by this name. By no other merit can this be acquired, O Muni. Different names are assigned to this Vatra in different sakas. In fact, they are all one and the same. In all the sakas, the one substance, intelligence solidified, named Shiva, and the knowledge thereof is mentioned. There is Shirovrata. He who does not perform this is irreligious, and he is banished from all religious acts, though he is well qualified in all branches of learning. There is no manner of doubt in this. The Sriavata is like the blazing fire in destroying wholly the forest of sins. All knowledge flashes before him who performs this. The Atharva Shruti expounds the subtle and particularly incomprehensible things. This Shruti declares the above Sriavata as daily to be done, so it is one of the daily observances. Fire is ashes, water is ashes, earth is ashes, air is ashes, ether is ashes. All this manifests a universe is ashes. These six mantras stated in the Atharva Veda are to be recited after this. Ashes are to be besmeared all over the body. The devotee is to put on these ashes named Shirovrata while he's practicing his sandhya thrice a day, so long as the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the Brahmana, does not arise in him. One is to make a sankalpa, a result of 12 years before one starts with this ratra. In case of incapability, a period of 1 or 6 months or 3 months or at least 12 days are to be adopted. That guru is considered very cruel, and his knowledge will come to an end who hesitates and does not impart the knowledge of the Vedas and other things to him who is purified by observing this Sriravatra. Know him certainly as a very merciful guru who illuminates the heart of Brahma Vidya, just as God is very merciful and compassionate to all living beings. One who performs one's own dharmas for many births acquires particular faith in the Sriravata. Others can have no faith in this. Rather, he gets animosity for his vrata because of the abundance of ignorance in him. So one ought never to advise on spiritual knowledge to any enemy who has no faith, rather who has hatred for any such thing. Those only that are purified by the observance of the Sriravata are entitled to Brahma Vidya and none others. So the Vedas can command. Those who are to be advised on Brahma Vidya who have performed Sriravata. Even the animal becomes freed of his animalism as a result of this ratra. No sin occurs in killing that animal. This is the decision of the Vedanta. It has been repeatedly uttered by Javata Rishi that the dharma of the Brahmanas is to put on the tripura, the three curved lines of ashes on the forehead. The householders are instructed to put on this tripura by repeating the mantra Trayambaka with Om prefixed. Thus, that those that are in the stage of sannyas are to put on the tripura, uttering thrice the mantra Om Hasa. Such is regularly stated in the Shruti. The householder and the foresters are to put on their tripundra, uttering Trayambak mantra, purifying with hum. Those that are the brahmacharis are to use daily this triumvira, uttering the mantra Medhavi. The brahmanas are to apply the ashes to three curved lines on the forehead. The god Shiva is always hidden under the cover of ashes. So the devotees of Shiva are to use this tripundra. The brahmanas are to use daily this tripundra. Brahma is the prime Brahman. When he used tripundra on his forehead, what need to tell then that every Brahmana ought to also be using it? Never fail out of error to besmear your body with ashes as prescribed in the Vedas and worship the Shiva Lingam. The sannyas are also to apply tripunda on their forehead, arms, chest, and uttering the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. The brahmacharis should use tripunda of ashes obtained from their own fire, uttering the mantra Trayam Samjandagne, or the mantra Medhavi. The Sudras in the service of the Brahmanas are to use the ashes with devotion, with the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. The other ordinary persons can use the tripunda without any mantra to besmear the body all over with ashes, and to put on the tripunda is the essence of all dharmas. Therefore, this should be used always. The ashes from the Agnihotra sacrifice, or from the Viryagni, the Viraja fire, are to be carefully placed on a clean and pure basin. Cleansing hands and feet, one is to sip twice, and then taking the ashes in the hand, utter the 5 Brahman mantras and perform short pranayama. Thrice he is then to utter the 7 mantras. Fire is ash, water is ashes, earth is ashes, teja is ashes, wind is ashes, ether is ashes. All this whatsoever is ashes, and purify and impregnate the ashes with the mantra by blowing out air through the mouth. Then one is to think of Mahadev repeatedly, repeating the mantra, and dry ashes of white color all over the body, and become sinless. After this, he is to meditate on the Mahavishnu, the Lord of the universe, and on the Lord of the waters, and repeat again the mantra, fire is ashes, and mix water with the ashes. He is then to think of Shiva and apply ashes on his forehead. He is to think of the ashes as Shiva himself, and then with mantras appropriate to his own ashram, his own stage of life, to use the tripundra on his forehead, chest, and shoulders. By the middle finger and ring finger, he is to draw the 2 lines of the ashes from the left to the right, and by his thumb draw a 3rd line of ashes from the right to the left. These tripundras are to be used in the morning, midday, and in the evening. Here ends the 9th chapter of the 11th book on the rules of Shriratra in the Srimad Devi Bhagavatm of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki.